Welcome to our channel. We're all about faith, family, home, and farm. Come on in and grab a chair and sit a spell with us. If you like readable versions of all of our content, be sure to check out both of our blogs. The links to our blogs will always be in the description box below our videos.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Good to see you. I am on my way to my mama's house just across the state line, and we are going to be tag teaming it today, and we are going to be making apple jelly, low to no sugar, using Pomona's Pectin and applesauce. So y'all just come along with us and spend the day with me and my mama.
We chose about 4 different kinds of apples to make our apple jelly and our applesauce with. Here we are getting them good and washed. We used a little bit of Dawn dish soap and some vinegar to wash any kind of pesticides or anything off. Then we got, my mama already had a lot of the stuff out and ready. There's her water bath canner. She got the lids and rings ready. She got her jars ready, all washed up. We chose to use Red Delicious, Granny Smith, Pink Lady, and Gala apples because we both wanted like sweet and sour. So we kind of like come up with the perfect mix. So we are also going to be using a steam canner that we bought for my mama one year for Christmas. And it has changed my mama's jelly making process. This is what it looks like. This is how you set it up. The bottom portion, you're going to have water in it. Then you put the second portion in there that has the little tube like this. Okay, there's your clamp where you can close and open the valve. Make sure you've got a stool or a table or something with a little setup. More on that in a minute. We are going to start cutting up our apples using this little apple peeler. Now, y'all, if you want to do this the old-timey way and use a knife, go right ahead. We're making this process a little quicker so we can do this quicker. This little peeler, apple corer, separates your core from your slices, and then you just dump them right over in the strainer. That little strainer, y'all, there's a controversy. If you want to peel your apples, go ahead. We chose not to peel our apples because we want to keep the peels, because we are going to be using the pulp from these apples to make the applesauce. So me and my mama are tag teaming it here. I'm using the little apple corer and getting the core out and slicing them. If I didn't get right down in the center and get all the seeds out, that's what she's doing, is checking for seeds. So we're just kind of double teaming it here, and we're going to go through all these apples this way. That little cutter is a game changer, making this process a whole lot faster. And like I said, we're leaving the peels on because, y'all, if you know anything about fruits and vegetables, the vitamins is in the peels. We want to keep as much of the nutrients as possible. I'm doing a voiceover on this, y'all, because I wanted to spend the day with my mama and talk to her and visit without having to worry about stopping and explaining a process. So I just hit the record button and we went to town, and now I'm doing a voiceover. She's checking for seeds and just making sure I've done everything right. We are actually going to keep the cores. Okay. Now, we've got all of these done, and we have put them in the third section of the steam canner, which is a strainer, and it goes on top. And y'all, before you come at me and say, hey, why did you make your little mama carry that over there? Look, let me tell y'all something about my little mama. This is her kitchen. You don't get in her way. She's like that stubborn little toddler. I do it myself. So I'm just standing back, and she's so proud of herself. Please make sure that this is what the steam canner looks like together. Make sure you go over your manufacturer's directions and you've got this like it's set up like it's supposed to be. Now we're going to be using the Pomona's Pectin, and we are following the directions inside the box, getting the calcium water made. The calcium water in Pomona's Pectin is what is going to make your jams and jellies set up, and it activates with honey or no sugar. This is the good deal about Pomona's Pectin. So we're getting the calcium water together. Now we are actually using a apple jelly recipe out of a book. It is in our Amazon store under my books and DVDs essential list. And it's a Pomona's Pectin preserving book. And if you want to know more about that, just hop over to our Amazon store after this video and go to our books and DVDs playlist and scroll down and you'll see the book. You can also get Pomona's Pectin in our Amazon store. And it is I've listed the Pomona's Pectin under our canning and preserving playlist, or not playlist, but essentials list. So the book is under the books and DVDs list. The Pomona's Pectin is under the canning and the preserving list. We are following the directions in the book and the Pomona's Pectin instructions on the sugar ratio, to the gel, the powder that's in there, the pectin. And if you've studied the Pomona's Pectin and you want to know how to make low to no sugar jams and jellies, or no sugar at all, Pomona's Pectin is the way to go, for us anyway. Now I'm going to show you how the steam canner is set up. That's the strainer. We are going to be extracting all of the juice. It goes down, the water creates the steam to start extracting the juice out of the pulp. All the pulp is in the strainer, and it starts extracting the juice through this little tube. You see that? Now, since your tube is hanging down like that, you can set up a stool and a dish pan just like we've got here to catch the juice, to catch it from going in the flour. We chose to catch it right in the dish pan because that's what we're going to be boiling the jelly in. There's the clamp. You can leave the clamp on and extract it a little at a time, or move the clamp up to the prong up there and let it free flow. So now while those are drawing the juice out of the pulp, my mama is getting the jars ready. Once again, don't get in her way. She wants to do it herself. I'm just passing her the jars. Look at all that juice we're extracting from those apples. Remember, if you know anything about canning, you match the temperature of your liquid in your canner, your jars, and your food. We're doing hot, 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 so we've got hot water in the canner. We've got the jars hot because we're going to be having hot jelly. Now, we've extracted all the juice that we can extract. So I've got another dish pan, and I took the strainer with the pulp in it out of the top, and I'm going to be using the pulp to turn into delicious applesauce. Okay, we've extracted all of it out of there. We've just got to get that last little bit of juice out. We're going to dump it over in the dish pan. That's how you put the steam canner together, and this is how it works. Y'all, we bought my mama this, and it has changed her jelly making process and made it so much faster. We cut out processes for her and steps for her. She's going to get going with the jelly. We're following the recipe in that book. She's reserved her juice. Now she's got the calcium water and the lemon juice. Y'all, I think we either doubled or tripled this recipe that's in the book. So there's the calcium water and the lemon juice going in with the apple juice. You bring that up to a boil. And we're just going to keep following the directions in this book and the process. You can see it right there. You can actually use the recipe that's on the instructions in the book. I mean, in the little packet of Pomona's Pectin. It comes with an instructions, and then it has some recipes on it. So you can use either or. She's stirring her jelly. I'm going to get to working on this wonderful applesauce. Y'all, there is tons of recipes for making applesauce on the internet. I picked out the one I wanted. Sounded the best for us. I'm taking all the pulp. I'm putting just a little bit of cinnamon in it. Not much, just enough to bump up the flavor a little bit. I'm adding just a little bit of brown sugar just for a teeny tiny extra bit of sweetness. You don't have to use the brown sugar. You don't have to use the cinnamon. But you do want to wet your apples just a little bit because, I mean, you know, we did extract all the juice out of it. So just a little bit of water because we are going to be mixing this up really good. Kind of breaking it down just a little bit. I want to mix all that in there good. Just like that. And like I said, y'all, you can leave the peels on or leave them off. Y'all, that was so steaming. It was steaming up my glasses. I had to take my glasses off. But like I said, the nutrients are in the peels, y'all. And I wanted to keep them because my granddaughters love applesauce. And that's why I'm making this for them. I'm taking my immersion blender and we're going to start blending this up. This is one way that you can do it. You can use an immersion blender. Just like that, if you want to. And see, I mean, we just did it in dish pans. I'm just mostly breaking up the peels. Now, I'm going to show you another way you can do it. You can put it in a food processor or a blender and do this just as well. I wanted to show you both processes. The blender gets it really pureed up. You can't even see the peels. Kids won't even know they're there, but they're getting those extra vitamins and nutrients. Just a word of caution, a disclaimer. Please do not fill your blender pitcher all the way full with the pulp, because it's hot liquid. It expands. Only fill your pitcher, your blender pitcher halfway or a quarter, or you're going to blow your lid off and you're going to burn yourself. Please use caution. Now we're filling our jar. That was so much easier, y'all. Debubble, because this is puree. So debubble your jars too. Wipe the rims so nothing interferes with the rubber seal when you put the lid and the ring on there. Screw it on fingertip tight. We're going to lay that over to the side. We're going to finish and get those ready to be water bathed. In the meantime, my precious little mama is working on her jelly. We are using stevia. Granulated stevia. She's going to whisk all that in. We're going to bring this to a boil again. Now, we used the directions on the box too, and we prepared the stevia and the gelatin powder that it called for in that recipe. Then you just mix this in here. She's got to bring that up to a boil. Now she's getting the jars out. She heated up the jars again to get them nice and warm. This is my mama's process, her kitchen, her rules. I'm just the little young apprentice and I'm helping. She's filling the jars with the jelly. And y'all, the little clumps that's in there, they did eventually wind up melting. So she's doing her thing over there. I'm doing my thing here. We're getting all of our jars ready. And yes, I did peek to make sure I hit the record button because there's nothing more frustrating than going back and looking at a video and I'm missing half of the video because I forgot to hit the record button. I did not want to miss this opportunity and this day with my mama. So yes, I had to peek at it, and thankfully I hit the record button. So we are just going to finish our process here, and we are going to get these ready to be water bathed. So she's doing the jelly. I'm working on the applesauce. We're tag teaming it. We're going to finish this process. And we are going to water bath these at the same time because they get the same amount of processing time. And my mama's putting them in the hot water that's already in the water bather. And y'all, I am so jealous. I don't have a jar lifter like she does for hers. Think I'm going to have to find me one. Okay, she's lowering it down in the water. You want your water to cover the lids and the rings. You want to have enough water in there to cover those. Now, while we're processing those, y'all, I am teaching my little mama how to make bread. And I know y'all are thinking, wait, what? You're teaching her? Let me tell y'all something about my little mama. She was a tomboy growing up. She could have cared less about being in the kitchen, learning how to bake and cook. She has got 2 older brothers. She was outside playing in the dirt. So she missed out on some of those things. But it's okay. We learned how to cook and bake anyway. And now I'm teaching her how to make some bread. My little daddy, bless his heart, he's coming over. I'm teaching my mama now how to do some kneaded dough, but she doesn't have a stand mixer. And she wanted to learn how to do it, and I'm teaching her. So he was massaging her just a little bit. She mixed it. Now we're letting it do that first rise and the resting period. So while the bread is going, y'all, we're multitasking today. While the bread is going, we're going to continue to process in the jellies and the applesauce. I think we had 2 batches, and she's removing the first batch, putting the second batch in. But y'all, I'm helping my mother get over leaky gut syndrome. We are changing some of her eating habits. She's learning how to make bread. Applesauce is done. Jelly went in. I had 1 jar that just didn't fill all the way, but that's okay. Look at her wonderful jelly. My mama is the jelly making queen, y'all. I'm telling you. I grow the garden and do the vegetables. She keeps us stocked in jellies. Now we're going to get back to this bread. It has done its resting and its first rise. She wants to learn how to do this again. She wants to learn how to knead it and shape her loaves, and I'm helping her with that. Y'all be sure to, if you want to learn the bread making process, you've never made bread before and you want to learn, check out my bread making video series. I start out with beginning things to help you get the hang of how some breads work. Then I'll start you out with an easy peasy 5-minute no knead bread dough, which is what I started my mama out on to get the hang of the bread baking process. Then we're fixing to get into kneaded bread doughs. And now I'm in the process of learning whole grains, grinding them into flour, and turning around and making delicious bread. I'm wanting to get the whole grain experience because despite myths, the whole grains of the flour is better for you. It has about 85% of all the nutrients, so you're getting more. We're letting it, she's shaping the loaves. We're letting it go through the second rise. Now it's gone through the second rise. Y'all, I'm so proud of my mama. We are learning and experimenting together. I'm excited going through this journey with my mama. She's learning new things and she's eating better, learning how to make substitutes, and we love our bread, and bread was one of those. Look at how her bread turned out. I am so happy for her. Y'all, we had such a good day hanging out today. We used her steam canner, which has made her process of jelly making so much easier because it cuts out a few steps. We cut out steps in her kitchen. I was teaching her how to make some more bread this day. We used that pulp to make applesauce with. None of the apple was wasted. I actually threw all the cores in a Ziploc bag. I took them home, threw them in the freezer, and I'm going to learn how to make apple cider vinegar using the core scraps. Yes, you can. Look at how her bread turned out. Y'all, thank y'all for hanging out with us today, making bread, making applesauce, and making low to no sugar apple jelly. See you in the next one.